So 2 years ago, I built a pond with my buddy Alfred. We took his excavator and we dug this hole and hoped for the best, that it would fill up with water and it could be a nice little duck pond for my ducks and geese. Last year, when we had our spring melt, all the snow from our pasture melted down and drained into the pond, and it filled up, and it was awesome. The birds were happy, I was happy, things were looking great. But then by the summertime, the whole pond had drained down and it was bone dry. So in the fall, my buddy Alfred and I got to work again, and we spread a whole bunch of bentonite, which is this like clay substance, all throughout the pond, trying to seal it in properly. But because we hadn't had much rainfall, I wasn't able to see much success or failure when things were starting to get covered with snow. And for the last 4 months, the pond has been covered in snow and ice and pretty much completely inaccessible by our birds. But over the last couple of days, we've been having a melt. When I talk about needing to work on the drainage around the barn, that's what I'm talking about. So you see what happens is all the snow goes on the roof of the barn, and then it falls down over to here, and then it all drains down into the basement of the barn. When I get cattle, I can't have a swamp like that, or else it'll be some real health issues for them. Definitely a project I'm gonna have to work on here in 2021. Hey, Toby dog. Ugh. This right here is the perils of Vermont mud season. Hey. Good morning, Mr. Toby dog. How are you this morning, huh? You doing good, pal? Yeah. Oh no. That's not good. Ugh. So these severe winds have kicked up the roof of my chickshaw, and now it's broken. Ugh. It's one more thing I'm gonna have to fix this spring. Ay, ay, ay. Hello, buddy. How's it going, pal? Good morning, silky chickens. Good morning, chickens. How you doing, Shakira? All's good, girl? Release the Kraken! Let loose the goose! Oh yeah, you guys see that fresh green grass, don't you? You want the grass. Very soon, my pretties, very soon. Yeah, things are super muddy and messy here on the farm. You know, in Vermont, we are famous for our mud season. Yep, this one is like many others. You know, while I'm very excited about the pond that we have back in our pasture, I've noticed that underneath the duck house has also turned into its own little lagoon.
Except I wouldn't want to go swimming in there.
Yeah, overall it's pretty gross and foul. I mean, you look around and all you see is just like all of the duck and goose turds and chicken poop that was covered by snow. As the snow all melts, it all gets revealed, and things are just brown and yucky and gross. I feel like we very much live in a beautiful part of the world here in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, but sort of this mud season that we're starting to get into right now is by far the grossest season. Like, it is super ugly right now. The irony is, in probably about a month's time, when all the snow melts and the mud dries up, everything explodes in green and it becomes probably the most beautiful place on earth. I suppose it's just our seasonal yin and yang. The ducks and geese are pretty darn happy with the climate right now, I will say. While they can survive in the super cold, they don't love it. This weather is like the perfect temperature for them. And the fact that there's all these mud puddles and mess everywhere, you know, particularly the duck, they just love sticking their bills in the mud and swishing it around and making that squishy noise. The second happiest time in a duck's life is when it's sticking its bill in a whole bunch of puddles of mud. Let's go do a quick check of the eggs. Hey, Barty. All right, what do we got? So this right here is the fake egg. This is how I convince my geese to lay in this spot. And these two, nope, just these two. These two are the real eggs. You know, we're not like fully up to speed when it comes to laying season, but things are definitely starting to pick up. In fact, I just opened ordering for our goose hatching eggs. You can check them out on our website, goldshawfarm.com. But act quickly, because so far I keep selling out of them. And so what you're gonna need to do is keep checking back in to see if I haven't sold out of them. But if you guys were on our mailing list, you did get an advance notice that we were opening that up. For those of you who aren't on our mailing list, you should definitely sign up. You'll find out all sorts of interesting stuff about what's happening here on the farm. I think I just saw something down here. Oh no, I did. I don't even know if I can get in there. Can you guys see that down in there? I was pretty sure that one of my hens was hiding her eggs, and clearly I have the evidence. I don't know how old these eggs are. I could probably eat them, but we're so flush in eggs right now, I think I'm gonna give them to a friend. Here you go, pal. Enjoy. I mean, you can just see how awful and muddy and mucky this all is. All the ice is starting to melt, and all the poop is coming to the foreground. You can see where the water is melting from up where I have the waterers. You can see it's like carving a little river that's having all the water flow down to here. Pretty impressive, actually. We have a brook that's right down there. That's where kind of all this water ends up draining off of from our pasture here. And then it even becomes the overflow for our pond. Yeah, the snow is unearthing all the Toby turds too. It's all just fertilizer for the pasture. But yeah, so here is our pond. It's not gigantic. It's like, I don't know, about 60 feet by, I don't know, what is that, 20, 25 feet? But it's got a decent depth to it. It's not full by any means. It's like only, I'd say half full. But as all that snow from up there melts down, it's gonna end up coming down into here over the next couple of weeks. Hey Toby, you remember when I gave you that gigantic cow bone for your birthday and it went missing? Well, here it is. It's still frozen into the ground solid, bud, but it's definitely there. Looks like we found like fossilized remains at this point.
I'm an archaeologist from the future.
What do you think about that, pal, huh? It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. I'll get you a real bone, don't worry. Let's see if we have any duck eggs. Hey there, girl. Whoa. Oh, she just left a fresh one. And wow, like my whole flock of ducks just started laying overnight. These eggs weren't here yesterday. They laid all these last night. Wow, that's great. You know, for like the last couple of months, I've only been getting drips and drabs of duck eggs, but looks like I got almost a dozen duck eggs just overnight, just turned on. For those of you guys who have your own duck or chicken or goose flocks, and you've been frustrated that they haven't given you eggs lately, just hold out. It's gonna happen. The days are getting longer, the days are getting warmer, and all of that really helps promote the birds to lay. Just hang in there. I did have a special announcement I wanted to make today. So, as you guys know, this last year has been tough for pretty much everybody. You know, travel's been limited, my travel's been limited. You know, in fact, in like the last year, I have not really left our farm. I've never spent a night away. I have gone as far as like to the east over the river to New Hampshire to get our groceries, which is about 20 miles away, 25 miles away. And probably to the west, the furthest I've gone is Burlington, when I was taking Lil Barncat to the emergency vet to get helped. But I'm really excited that I'm gonna be going on a trip this fall. So one of my favorite annual events is the Homesteaders of America conference down in Virginia that happens every October. It's gonna be happening, I think, October 9th and 10th, like that weekend. And I'm super excited this year because I'm gonna be a speaker there. I'm gonna be teaching a class on how to raise geese. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll also be out there just hanging out with people. The last time I went was so cool. I got to meet so many of you viewers, and it was 2 years ago. And so I'm looking forward to going to this next Homesteaders of America. My friends over at Homesteaders of America are actually doing a membership drive right now. And so if you want to join Homesteaders of America, you get access to a whole bunch of information and tools, as well as you get discounts on things like tickets to the Homesteaders of America event. I'll leave an affiliate link down below, and I'll be really excited to see you guys down in Virginia in October. Hey girl, I'll leave you alone. It's all good. It's all good. So this is Justin Finch Fletchley. He's the gander who's mated to her, and he's quite protective. I see you there, buddy. You don't need to tangle with me, it's cool. Okay, pal, here, I'm making good on that soup bone promise. Yeah, one of our viewers sent us these really nice soup bones, and Toby is loving them, so thank you.